All right, I want to do a quick video on this Google Memo or Google Manifesto or whatever you want to call it. And more to the point, the reaction to this memo's release into the public. Apparently it started out as an internal Google memo and somehow got leaked to mainstream media or some media outlets. And that's how the rest of us came to know it. And if you don't know anything about this Google memo, I suggest you pause this video, go over to Jordan Peterson's channel, and watch his interview with James Damore. Spend about an hour watching that, and you'll know everything you need to know about this Google memo. My interest in it is the female or feminist reaction to it, because I am in equal parts amused and irritated by this reaction. It's, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, to be honest. And by the way, if what I just said, I don't know, triggered you because I said female or feminist reaction, okay, go ahead and, spurg away in the comments section, because, at this point in human civilization, women and feminists aren't basically indistinguishable. Okay, take me to task on that, because one woman who isn't a feminist. All right, fine. Go ahead. But most women at this point in human history are fucking feminists. Get over it. All right, so yeah, Gizmodo. This tweet and video from Gizmodo really encapsulates this ridiculous reaction on the part of women to this manifesto, this memo. So let's get right to it here.
Men have always used science to try to justify why they're better than women. The latest example? An anti-diversity degree by ex-Google software engineer James Damore.
All right, let me stop it right there, because we're 8 seconds in, not even. The mistake I'm about to point out was before I paused it. So we're like 5 seconds into the video and she's already an idiot. It's not an anti-diversity screed. Nothing in it is anti-diversity. James Damore is not anti-diversity. What he is skeptical of an ideological devotion to diversity at the expense of a productive, competent company. Yeah, I mean, he goes out of his way he's a little Google fanboy, and he wants Google to succeed. And what he sees, if you watch that video, what he sees is Google bowing at the altar of diversity and social justice warriors and feminists, to the point where not only is the corporation hurting itself, but it's venturing into possible illegal activities, hiring people based on their race, gender, religion, creed, whatever. They're venturing into illegal employment tactics here, according to James Damore, and he really wants them to veer away from that. That was his whole interest in doing this. If I'm interpreting what I've heard from him properly. So you can, again, go see that Jordan Peterson video and you can agree or disagree with me on that. But it's definitely, there is no argument here that it's an anti-diversity screed. That is a total mischaracterization, an ad hominem, whatever you want, a straw man, whatever you want to call it. It's garbage.
Women have higher anxiety and lower stress tolerance. Men have a higher drive for status than women do.
Isn't that cute? You made a little girl face. Is that supposed to be a fucking argument? I mean, I really should just stop the video right now. This is all you need to see. So James Damore has researched scientific literature, put out these claims based on scientific literature in his memo, and Gizmodo comes along and puts this feminist git on the screen to make a little girly face like she used to make when her mom and dad told her to eat her broccoli. Is this what is this? This isn't a fucking argument. I'm supposed to be convinced by your ugly face making this fucking frown? What is this?
Biological differences such as prenatal testosterone could explain the gender.
Oh, and you put prenatal testosterone in quotes, in scare quotes, and that's supposed to be an argument too. Is it feminist Gizmodo's belief that hormones do not affect fetuses in the womb? What is the fucking claim being made here? What is the point of putting prenatal testosterone in scare quotes? What are you even talking about here? What is this bullshit?
Gap in tech. These are just some of the bullshit arguments Damore wrote in his letter. And it's the same pseudoscience peddled by eugenicists and white supremacists for decades.
Okay, let me stop it here. Because this is the same tired bullshit refrain feminists always trot out when they're hit with evolutionary psychology claims. And each time its literature is cited. Let me ask you, screwballs, something. Do any of you broads understand that all of the scientific literature Damore cited in his memo came from internal Google sources? The same sources recommended by the diversity programs and classes employees were compelled to attend. Are you telling me that left-wing Google promotes eugenics research? Are you out of your fucking minds? And if it does, well, fucking take it up with your favorite corporate partner. Okay? You feminists are dying to get involved with Google in some way, shape, or form. Okay? So you're dying to get involved with eugenicists and white supremacists who source eugenic and white supremacist material? What the fuck are you even talking about?
A lot of Damore's arguments cite findings of so-called evolutionary psychology, which is based on the idea that our psychological traits are the product of the same natural selection that shaped early human evolution.
What else would have shaped human behavior besides evolution? Feminist bullshit?
Evolutionary psychology has been used to justify everything from rape to claims.
Okay. Here we go again. You feminist dipshits are still trying to paint things like the book A Natural History of Rape, and if you don't know anything about this, take a moment, Google it, read about it, make your own conclusions, and once again, come back to the video here. So you feminist dipshits are still trying to paint A Natural History of Rape as a justification of rape? Are you fucking kidding me? You're trying to paint it as a justification, like it condones rape, rather than it just makes a statement of evolutionary reality. Thornhill and Palmer were not justifying or condoning rape for the 10 billionth time since 2000 or whenever it was when the book was released. All they were doing was trying to provide context, scientific context for human behavior like any other research that has something to do with human psychology and behavior. That's all they were trying to do. You know, like murder research or violence research or any other violence research. Does research into murder condone murder? What the fuck are you talking about?
That certain group of people are inherently smarter than others. It's also been criticized for shoddy methodology, ignoring cultural context, and jumping to conclusions on inadequate evidence.
Okay, so I have a lot of scientific claims, including, I don't know, feminist claims that there are no differences between the sexes.
Using vague scientific terms like prenatal testosterone to explain the
What is vague about that? It's prenatal and it's testosterone. What are you missing? There's nothing vague about it. And in fact, it's pretty goddamn specific about what kind of testosterone we're talking about here.
Extremely complicated issue of the gender pay gap.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, boy. Scientific research that uses the term prenatal testosterone is vague, but the gender fucking pay gap is spot on, right? I mean, the gender fucking pay gap is such garbage. It's such vague nonsense. Do I have to get into it here? You know what? I'm not even going to dignify this bullshit by getting into it and arguing against it. It's not even worth my time. It's such garbage.
Reads like classic evolutionary psychology. Of course, using science to justify male superiority goes back even further.
You know, Damore doesn't go there. Putting science in quotes and male superiority, he doesn't go there. It's not his point that males are superior. I mean, if you ask me, the argument can be made, and this video is a classic argument for male superiority. But anyway, Damore does not go there. He's not interested in any of that. He's not saying that female flaws are worse or better than male flaws, or, female positive traits are worse or better than male positive traits, and he's not saying that about men. All he is saying is certain, on average, personality traits within genders make them better at certain jobs. Okay? This shouldn't even be controversial at this point. We shouldn't even be dealing with Gizmodo lying about what he's saying, mischaracterizing it, straw-manning his arguments. We shouldn't have to deal with any of this bullshit. We should be past this now. But we're not, because of feminist idiots like this one and all the rest of the feminist idiots at left-leaning tech mags like Gizmodo.
Hippocrates wrote that women are less psychologically stable, or more bluntly, hysterical. Freud and his peers posited that women's biology explained their inherent insanity. Now, in 2017, a senior software engineer at Google called it their neuroticism.
Okay, no, you're wrong again, you stupid git. He's not calling it neuroticism. That's the technical term in the psychology literature. That's a scientific term to describe negative emotions. Okay? That's all. It's not James Damore making this up, even though, once again, you're making the little girl face like it's an argument. That's not a fucking argument, and you're an idiot.
It's true that women are more likely to be anxious than men.
Wait. Oh my God. What? So you agree with the fucking memo, but you made this total bullshit video disagreeing with it? Talk about proof of female neuroticism. You've got to be fucking kidding me once again.
But they're also more likely to have experienced physical and emotional abuse, both of which...
Oh, the source is the conversation on that. Oh, really? So women are more likely to experience physical abuse. That's why men are 80% of homicide victims. Your claims are bullshit. Not Damore's, your claims. That is total fucking bullshit. It's just like the claim that that women are more likely to get online abuse than men. That was bullshit too. And now we have this bullshit that women are more likely to suffer psychological and physical abuse. That is total fucking horseshit. I don't want to see a little square rectangle up in the corner that says source the conversation, whatever the fuck that is. I want to see the actual fucking citation for that. The scientific literature for that. Fucking bullshit.
Contribute to, well, anxiety. By Damore's logic, leveling the playing field for women is misguided.
Well, yeah. If you're going to level the playing field, first of all, for people who don't even want to enter that fucking playing field, they want to go off and do other jobs, of course it's fucking misguided. Why wouldn't it be? So you want to force people who don't want to do STEM jobs to do STEM jobs. For what? And jobs that they are not, on average, adapted to or adept at. What is the fucking point of forcing women into STEM? So what, men have to be nurses, even though women want those jobs? This is just your typical feminist mind control bullshit.
Candidates with the most desirable traits for high-stress, technically demanding jobs, men, should be selected.
Oh, we got the little girly face again. You gotta eat your broccoli. You gotta listen to the science, because the science is right, and your little girly, oh, I don't like it faces, it's creepy. They're not arguments, they're bullshit, okay? But, I guess you think you're not incriminating yourself when you're doing this. You look like a fucking idiot doing this. FYI.
While the Google screed focused largely on gender, many of these same arguments had been used to justify racism. As much as this
Yep, here we go again with the eugenics, the racism, and all. So again, Google, who archived these scientific sources that Damore referenced, so Google's racist? Google's what are you even insinuating here? You have no. So here we have the typical Godwin's law in action. So we throw up this Nazi propaganda bullshit, and so now Google, not only are they eugenicists and white supremacists, but they're Nazi propagandists. What are you even suggesting here? Get a fucking grip.
Anti-diversity letter reeks of centuries-old junk science. It's important to emphasize that even today, women, non-binary people, people of color, and other minorities in STEM fields are still regularly confronted with bigoted attitudes wrapped in the guise of science.
Quite interesting, since your bigoted views on science are exactly like the views within Google that got James Damore, a white guy, fired for simply starting a discussion.